Hello and welcome on 360 Sport on Trust TV. I am Adini Ajishafe. Quickly, please look at game match taking place right now over there in Qatar. It's between Portugal and Ghana, and that match is still ongoing right now, 0-0. Even though the match is ongoing, at least no team is yet to score. Both of them are still fighting hard to see who will actually get the first goal between Portugal and Ghana. The match is ongoing. Well, having the studio, Madira Uma is here. Let's talk some sports.
Yes, it's amazing to be here talking sports this evening on 360 Sports.
Good one on that. Now, talking about Ghana and Portugal, that match is ongoing, and we are going to be giving updates concerning this game. Really, even though Ghana, they've tried to be able to absorb Portugal to some extent, but seems to be they kind of been laid back. They are not coming out. Portugal are really the one trying to press them. And it seems Ghana are not trying to come out. They're trying to be very careful playing against Portugal.
Yeah, when I started watching the game, prior to the game, actually, I thought that, you know, Portugal, from the series of games they've played before the World Cup, it was going to be, you know, an easy one for Ghana. Though Ghana is an African country, I would root for Ghana all the time. But, you know, we are facing reality right now. A stronger team is facing, let's say, not so weak team, but it's like an underdog in the World Cup. And judging from the group that they are, you see that Ghana will struggle. I would say would struggle. A lot of people might have different opinion to that. But looking at the game this evening, you see that C. Ronaldo is not the problem of Portugal. Portugal is a bit laid back, but C. Ronaldo
no,
is
Ghana
not
is laid back.
See, they are laid back. Something is happening, and that's why they've not found the back of the net yet. They are laid back. Ghana is proving to be a strong team this evening, but they are laid back from their play. Of course, if they continue to play like this, they will not find the back of the net, and that's a big problem for them. Portugal is laid back because they've not been able to find the back of the net, because the Portugal that I know, facing a team like Ghana, would have probably scored at this time, though it's not even 40 minutes yet, but would see that, you know, there's something happening, and then they need to strike a balance for them to find the back of the net if they want to not play a draw like we've seen in other matches since the World Cup started.
To let you know that Portugal-Ghana is still ongoing and still 0-0 right now at the 32nd minute. The match is getting tougher now, but Portugal seems to be having an edge, even though they are yet to score. Ghana, they are laying back to see how they can absorb all the heat coming from Ronaldo and the entire squad, Selecao of Portugal. That match is ongoing. We'll be giving you updates on that particular game because that's the focus for this particular show right now. World Cup is ongoing. Portugal-Ghana, well, big one. Nigerians out there, even though we are not going to the World Cup, we have to support our own.
Exactly.
A lot of Nigerians are not too. Some are not happy that they are not at the World Cup. But the reality has actually done on us that, yes, Ghana is playing and we just have to support them.
Yes, Ghana is playing, and looking at the whole thing and thinking about it, Nigeria would have been in that position right now if we had played our cards
You just have to
the right
accept
way.
that now.
Yeah, we have accepted it because the World Cup is ongoing and there's nothing anybody can do about it. But right now, we would support Ghana because Ghana is an African country. Remember that earlier today, another African country lost to a country, and it was really, really sad that I saw that Cameroon, one of the indomitable lions in that games, have actually lost. They played very well, but at the end of the day, 1-0 is a big one when we talk about football. So Ghana playing Portugal at the moment, that's a big one too. The way things are going right now, we are at the edge right now. We're looking to see which team will go home victorious this evening. But fingers crossed. Let's see what happens. I'm positive. But at the end of the day, it's just the best man that will win.
Let the best man win. 34th minute now, still 0-0 between Portugal and Ghana. That match taking place over there in Qatar. They've been fighting hard. Both teams are trying to see who will score first. While we're looking at that particular game, quickly let's look at the result of the games played earlier on today, where Switzerland defeated Cameroon by a lone goal scored by Brilliant Bolo at the 48th minute. Well, he did not celebrate that goal for the fact that, yes, you can't take it away. He's a Cameroonian, even though he's playing for Switzerland. Yes, as his country of birth. And right now, they lost that game. I'm talking about Cameroon now, yes, against Switzerland. You see Brilliant Bolo, he was about to turn. You remember, it is against Cameroon, and he actually remains
exactly.
Still.
That's what you feel when you nationalize. And then I'm just trying to get into his mind when he saw the draw. Oh, we're playing against Cameroon. This is my home country, and I have to face these people. But this has gone to prove a point that you've sworn allegiance to a country. And this has proven a point that he is with them 100%, regardless of who they are facing at the moment. He had that courage, he had that confidence to score his own home country. And that's like proving a point, a very big point, that he made a statement. Big ups to that. But I was expecting Cameroon to dominate and score the first goal. But you know, as somebody would tell me, for the game of Australia, and somebody said he's not the first person to call a policeman that wins a case.
Of course.
So that was the case I was expecting for Cameroon, but it didn't happen at the end of the day. But I feel that Cameroon will go far. Senegal hasn't really done well because it was a goalless draw the last time they played. Cameroon again, and then we had Morocco again, another African country that played. It was goalless, and then we have Tunisia too. And then, oh God, it's really an adrenaline rush for me, you know, watching all of these African players and their team doing what they know how to do best, but we're not getting the best out of them there. But we'll pray going forward, we're going to get the best out of this team. So I'm rooting for every African country right now, because at the end of the day, I'm African. Sentiments might come in at some point, but I will still stand on is the best man that wins the game.
Well, right now, at least from the way it is, we have 4 nations from Africa. They've played so far. We just have to appreciate the fact that, well, even though out of the 4, we have 2 losses there, and you have 2 that actually drew. Tunisia, Morocco, 0-0. They play in their game against Denmark, and also in that particular one that has to do with Morocco and Croatia. And then you have Senegal losing their game. Well, very painful, even though they fought hard almost to the end against Netherlands. And now Ghana, they are also fighting against Portugal. We'll give you an update on this game. It's getting to 37th minute, still 0-0 between the Selecao of Portugal and also the Black Stars of Ghana. Meanwhile, Cameroon lost their game against Switzerland by a lone goal scored by Bril and Bolo by 48 minutes. Right now, still talking about this game, but you look at from the way it is. If they finish first half like this, the second half will be very, very tough, because now Ghana will have to come out. They just don't. They don't need to stay back. In fact, before we got to the studio, I saw the what they call it now, the statistics, and you see 70-30. They need to up their game. Yes, it's good that they are absorbing this Selecao, that's Portuguese team, but they need to do more by coming out. Don't lay back. This is a Portuguese team. They have one opportunity, and among them, they have that chance of knowing how to score goals. Joao Felix, Ronaldo, Bernardo Silva, all of them are equal to the task. So right now, all I expect Ghana to do is that if they are able to mop this for the first half, the second half, they should come out and see if they can get a shocker. If, after all, if Saudi Arabia, I keep looking at that, Saudi Arabia, Japan, those 2 nations have actually sent signals to other nations across the globe that yes, here at the World Cup, you can do this. Don't ever, ever give any special maybe respect or honor to any team. Go out there and do your thing.
Yes, there's no complacency in the game of football. And once you give a chance, that's when you lose out completely. And that's what I saw with the Argentina-Saudi Arabia team. And that's like being the shocker of the season for me. For the World Cup season for me. I don't know if any other team, maybe Ghana will give us another shocker this evening against 2 big footballing nations, Argentina and Portugal, of course. They're big names, and we have one of the biggest names there, you know, playing for each of this country. So, like you said, Ghana would have to do more. For a country that just played Nigeria and then won us 4-0, I was expecting rains of goals this evening. But it seems that, you know, Ghana came out with, you know, something up their sleeves.
But you know, you shouldn't be expecting rain of goal. You know why? The World Cup level is different. This is not Costa Rica.
Exactly. I know that. I know
Portugal will be very careful. Ghana are also careful. Both of them are very careful. You look at this particular game, you see that yes, both are trying to be careful to just say, okay, what happened at the first half? If you are able to play a 0-0 for the first half, second half, I'm expecting a very, very tough game. Both of them will come out now to see if they can. Although we know that for this tournament, we've seen a lot of 0-0, at least about 4 now.
About 4,
and,
yes.
It's possible that maybe it will also happen between Portugal and Ghana. But from the way it is, I love the fact that Ghana have been able to show some steadiness against Portugal.
But I don't see that happening for this game. Yes, I'm very optimistic that there will be maybe 1 or 2 goals before the end of the game. Like you said, second half is going to be tough. And that's when teams will meet their coaches, the management team, and they will re-strategize. So I'm thinking that if nothing happens in the first half, which of course is not over yet, something will happen. Maybe 2 or 3 goals at the end of the match. We've seen that happen in several matches before. So this would not be an exception. I believe that this will not end goalless.
While we're talking about Portugal, Ghana with Madia Umar in the studio, well, right now that match has gotten to 48 minutes now. No goal yet between the two teams. And tonight, Brazil will be facing Serbia. Maybe we should just leave that one first and face the one on ground. Okay. Brazil, Serbia, another tough match. And I'm looking at this game. I hope it won't end up 0-0 also, because it seems this the first games in each group, the group openers, seems to be very, very tough, and everybody's actually trying to play safe. And from the way it is, Brazil, Serbia, I'm also looking at the way it's happened between Croatia, Morocco, Tunisia, Denmark, and other nations, Uruguay, Korea. That could also be coming up.
Okay, so aside Saudi Arabia and Argentina team being one of the shockers of the season, it has actually, from my understanding and what I've seen in the game so far, it has actually taught a lot of clubs not to underrate any team. No country should be underrated. And, you know, since that day, a lot of people have been playing very, very safe. Even the big countries, you think that, you know, they come in and think that it's a walkover for other countries. You know, they've been playing very safe. That could be not so good for, you know, the team where we're expecting a lot of actions and thrills, but it could also be that, you know, it has upped your expectation level that you should not underrate any team and you should give your best anytime you're on the pitch. Serbia and Brazil, I don't see a goalless match at the end of the match or the play.
So who do you see that will win that game?
I still think that, you know, Brazil has an upper hand than Serbia.
Well, we wait to see that if truly Brazil will be winning or not. But right now, between Ghana and Portugal, it's still ongoing, and the match is still 0-0, 42nd minute, and it's getting tough by each minute. We're giving you updates concerning this game, well, live from our studio. Right now, we'll quickly move on. Let's just talk about the World Cup before we go back to Ghana, Portugal. A particular team actually stood out in this tournament so far with their cleanliness. You know, talking about Japan. That's the story we're looking at next. Talking about officials really celebrate Japan. Official commend Japan fans for cleaning stadium after win over Germany. That's the next story we're looking at right now. The Japanese team, despite the fact that they lost, they won their game against Germany. They were able to do what? After the winning, you know, celebration could actually be there to forget. No, they did not forget. They went ahead, pick every dirt in the stadium, clean up their dressing room and everywhere looking sparkling.
I think a winning mind and a winning mindset does not just happen when you're on the pitch. It happens when you're getting ready to even come into the country of play, and then after the play. Japan has been able to teach us that, you know, winning a match does not mean that you've got it all. There's still work to be done, and that's what they've exhibited. I actually was very surprised when I saw, you know, posts about them cleaning the stadium, which no team has been reported to have done since. It's not like we've not had teams win matches. We saw the likes of 7 goals to nothing, non-replied goals, 7 goals yesterday. Nothing of that thing happened. So with this kind of mindset, I think a winner has a mindset outside the pitch, and that's what they've been able to exhibit. And that is why we should look out for Japan. You should not underrate those teams. Japan, you see all those countries. I know Japan is a good footballing nation to an extent, but you know, with this mindset they brought into the World Cup, I think it's a country we should look out for. Let's see what they've got.
Let's see what they've got coming from there. Their relay is getting tougher now between Ghana and Portugal. That game is still ongoing, and we're looking at the update there. 44th minute. Still 0-0 between the two, even though just said yesterday Spain was able to do Costa Rica. They didn't add the A there to score 7 goals. It ended 7-0 in that particular encounter. You just have to give kudos to Spain for what they did. It was a wreck of Costa Rica, even though they nearly had the A to make it Costa Rica. But right now, Portugal, Ghana, getting tougher each minute. 44th minute, 0-0. We're still looking at that. While we're looking at that quickly, let's run through some stories before we come back to look at that particular game again. Now, let's talk about this. Well, that's matches will be coming up in the UEFA Champions League for women, while the World Cup is ongoing. Women Champions League fixtures. Let's quickly look at the games that will be on for tonight. Well, we've seen Chelsea defeating Real Madrid Madrid yesterday. PSG winning their game 5-0. Now Zurich women against Lyon Feminine will be coming up. You have Juventus against Arsenal women. Barcelona Femenino against Bayern Munich. You have Benfica women against Swedish team Rosengard women. Tough one there. What will be happening? Who will win this game between Benfica, Rosengard, Zurich versus Lyon, Juventus, Arsenal? Lyon, you know, they are champions over 7 times. When it comes to this competition, they are queens. Oh, now, these are the matches slated for tonight, my dear.
So one of the matches that I would say stand up for me is Juventus and Arsenal. Juventus have been doing better than their male team counterparts. And of course, it will be a shocker if I see Arsenal edging out Juventus, because when you look at the table, Juventus has been doing better than the Arsenal women. And then Benfica and Rosengard women, of course, that's one match I should actually look out for too. So, but I will give it up for Juventus and then Benfica. This is actually the first time I'm actually predicting and saying that this, but I've got a lot of confidence. I'm giving it to, you know, Benfica, Juventus. I would say FC Bayern.
Bayern versus Barcelona. For Barcelona Femenino, we have Assistant Australia there, and that game is like, you know, be the tough game guy. A lot of people want to see because, well, we want to see if truly defending champion will be able to defeat FC Bayern Munich for women now. Tough one. Assistant Australia up there. Let's see if she can bang in at least some goals or a goal in this particular encounter. Benfica versus Rosengard, Arsenal women, Juventus, Zurich versus Lyon in that encounter there. See, looking at the World Cup quickly, giving you updates. 0-0 between Ghana and Portugal. Still 0-0, 45+2, making it 47 minutes now. And really, it's getting tough between the two teams there. It's still 0-0 right now. We are giving you update there. Now, let's move on from that particular, just giving you update concerning UEFA Champions League for women as we quickly talk about other stories before they resume the second half, before we wrap it up. Well, a Nigerian player from EFCC, his name is Okpanachi Job, has joined Bulgarian league side, FC Sozopol, over there in Bulgaria. We're happy for him from EFC Abuja straight down to Bulgarian league. That's Okpanachi Job.
So what would you expect after winning the pre-Unity tournament, the pre-season tournament? That's Unity Cup.
Yeah.
You know, when you talk about players doing their best, it's not just in the international scene. You know, when you are being called to represent a club in the country, a lot of international acts are actually looking out for young players. For Okpanachi, maybe it's not where he wants to be at this point. Bulgarian club, the Bulgarians are not doing well doing so bad when it comes to football. But you know, he gave it his all, and that clinched him this position that he is right now. But I would want to say that he should be, you know, careful and still do his best when he gets to that club side, because that's when you show people that you've got something. That's when you show them that, you know, I know what I'm doing. I'm aiming higher for a better footballing career. I don't just want to play for EFCC and just end my career there. I want to go outside the country, be like the likes of, you know, JJ Okocha before they retired, Kanu Nwankwo, you know, just progress to maybe Messi or Ronaldo one day. And that's what's happening to Okpanachi right now. He's taking his ministry from one level to the other. I wish him all the best, and I feel like, you know, getting this shot in a Bulgarian Cup, that's something that he should applaud and hold very firm. And how do you hold it very firm? It's for you to do your best and not let complacency set in at the end of the day.
Good one there. Well, just have to quickly move on. Manchester United could at least, the player that has been with them for a while now, they are already eyeing another one to replace him. Talking about Manchester United could replace Anthony Martial with Bayern Leverkusen. You look at Anthony Martial, yes, a player that is so talented, but because of the fact that Jose Mourinho spotted something, he said he's lazy. And all he needs to do is to work harder, not just to be hard, but to be harder and smarter. Well, Manchester United could replace him with Bayer Leverkusen striker, a fantastic player called, right now, is a player that, if you look at him, Musa has been a player that's done so well for Bayer Leverkusen, and he could be moving to Old Trafford, even though they wanted him in the summer, but they couldn't get him. Musa Diaby, fantastic player, but that could be a player that could be replacing Anthony Martial.
We do not want you know, the likes of young players getting into these big clubs, you know, because they are doing well in some club and getting to this big club. The pressure is so much. we've seen young players come into the likes of clubs like Manchester United, and you see what their career turned out to be at the end of the day. Look at the likes of Bissaka. You know, when he came into Manchester, he came with a lot of momentum. He came with a lot of talent. Everybody was hoping that he would do. But at the end of the day, what happens? You know, the pressure, you know, every footballer has pressure in them. You know, when you get into a big club, everybody wants to see that scoring and then, you know, play time, good playing time, and then doing your best to actually know that you're either assisting or scoring goals. Because what makes you a great footballer, like the likes of Messi and Ronaldo, the likes of Zlatan, and you know, the big players that we have. I wouldn't want to mention a lot of names because we have lots of them. So these people got their names because they scored a lot of goals. They were able to find the back of the net and do extraordinary things, different from what other people have been doing. So I think that, you know, there will be a lot of pressure. I don't think that's a good move for me. It's so hard, but we wish him all the best and see if this goes through at the end of the day.
Well, while we're still talking about Manchester United, a billionaire, Jim Ratcliffe, right now among those who will be bidding for that club alongside, well, we also added Apple. Yes, Apple Incorporated, they also want to buy Manchester United, £6 billion. That will be at least the biggest so far when it comes to world football business. And right now, Sir Jim Ratcliffe has actually joined them. Not forgetting the fact that the family, that's the family, Glazers family, they want to sell this club. Joel and Avram right now are looking at who will get this particular, the potential bidder coming up, and let's know the potential buyer. Just like Todd Bowley surprises everyone, and he was able to do it. While we talk about that, let's quickly revert back to the World Cup. Yes, the first half is over, and it's ended nil between Portugal and Ghana. In that game, tough one it was, but really, Ghana was able to do their own 0-0. The second half will be coming up, and Brazil, Serbia, be coming up by 8 p.m. Another big match, even though Madia is already tilting towards Brazil. I will stay with you for that. But this Portugal-Ghana, before we wrap it up, who are you standing with finally?
This is a big one, and you're putting me on a hot seat.
Of course.
Wow. I just know that there will be goals at the end of the match.
But you don't know who will score.
I'm not tilting to any side right now.
That's
because if I
like we call it in Nigeria, that's why your prediction. Why you?
Brazil is a big footballing nation. I like their style of play, and you know we've got a lot of big names that have come into Qatar to support their team.
No, I'm talking about Portugal. Portugal versus Ghana.
Portugal, yes. Portugal is big. We have some of my best players there. And Ghana is an African country. So I'm caught in between the devil and the blue sea.
Well, let's see what will happen between Portugal and Ghana. Second half will be starting soon. We're just giving you updates concerning that game. Ended 0-0 first half when likes of Ronaldo, Kudus, all of them fought hard. Don't forget the Andre Ayew. Yes, they all fought hard to at least withstand the heat from the Portuguese team. And we see the second half. Let's see what happened concerning that. We'll be giving you more concerning this. Now, subsequent edition 360 Sport. A wonderful one with Madia Roma in the studio. Thank you very much for coming.
Thank you, Adeni. It's always a pleasure on 360 Sports.
Yes, let's the best team win, even though stylishly I'm tilting towards Ghana lifting this particular game. I want them to win, really. I've been rooting. Yes, I'm rooting for Ghana, and I hope that they will be able to at least listen to me and get this done, even though one way or the other, I still expect Ronaldo to score. Let's see what happens there. I am Adeni Ajishafe. Sport is always business and fitness. Thanks for watching.